Okay, we're just looking at cutting these heads here to make them more equal, but these heads look equal on the ports, on the depth. So even though the installed height was different, so if you look at the ring that's cut around here in the head, these two heads are almost identical to each other. So you see the other one over here. So I don't believe that that one valve is off by like 15 or 20 thou like it was measuring. So we'll go ahead and pull out more fancy tools. So this is a dial indicator, installed height checker, more for automotive use than Harley, but when you're doing a bunch of custom stuff you can use them. So basically I zeroed it on the head here. This is the one that was alright. So this one here is at 51 thou right now. We'll come over here and measure this one, and we're at 57 thousandths. So that's only 6 thou difference in the installed height. It's on the intake and exhaust. So we put this other one in here, just to hit it. We got the bad one on. We check the exhaust on this one, and it's at 50. And we check the intake, and we're at 48. So our complete variable here is only 9 thousandths. 9 thou is not enough to go in and recut the head. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to see if the collar, up in here the collars are undercut. I go see if that is maybe hitting on the valve guide snap ring that's on it, and see if that might be the problem. On Harley guides they have a solid shoulder, and these other guides they have a snap ring. So if this is binding up here on the shoulder, that will keep it from going down. And I'd be giving me my false number. So I'm going to look into that, see if that's the problem, and if so I'll cut the collar out slightly to clear the keeper. So something's causing the error, so now it's just a matter of tracking down and see what it is. The valves themselves are good the way they are. Okay, we got another check we're doing here, trying to find out what installed height is slightly different. So this is your automotive style installed height checker. You just unscrew this till it locks up, and it gives you a direct reading of what you have. This only works on Evos and Twincams. Doesn't work on shovel heads, or iron is definitely different. It's made for long, tall springs like automotive style stuff, so that's what your Evo motor looks like. So this one here, we're just going to put this together, just like we did with the spring, except now we got a mechanical device in the middle. Hold it up, unscrew this thing until it bottoms out, and it'll give you a direct reading. Now this reading is not accurate because it's the collar is such a small diameter, it doesn't hit in the right area. But it gives you something to work with. So this one here, we're at 147.5. That's what it comes up being. The other head was in 146 or so on that valve, so we're good. This is our exhaust valve. So that's that one. Take all that stuff out and put it in a pile so that it goes back in the same spot. Once you check stuff, try to keep them all together at that point. Most of the stuff's very accurate on repeating, but it doesn't hurt to keep it from getting mixed up anymore. So this here is our intake valve, which is one that has a bad number on it. So I'm thinking the bad number might be me. But everything else right now points to me not reading it very accurate. Which could be. It happens. Okay. Nope, it wasn't me. Okay, so now we put this one together, we come up with, we're down here at 28, 27.5. Oops, where's the damn thing at? So you see it's 927, 928, the other one's at 947.5. So that's 20 thou difference, which is what I was coming up with. So something is causing this thing to be an error of 20 thousandths. The install height of the valve is not, it's only 5 thou different max. So that's not the error. So there's something else that's causing this problem. I checked the installed heights with a lower collar on it, it was identical, they're all just real close. So it's a combination of this collar, these keepers, or the keeper grooves that are cut in the valve are different. So right now I'm going to take the exhaust step that we just used. Actually, I'll pull everything off just to make sure. I'm going to put all of the stuff off the exhaust valve onto here and see if the number comes in we want it to be. If it doesn't, then that means the valve itself, the keeper groove, is in a different location, which means the valve is the problem. Okay, this mix of parts gained us about 4 thou. So now we're up here at 31 or so. Where's the camera at? So we're still 15 thou off. So let's hit the valve is what the problem is. So now we have to compensate for a valve that's not accurate. Now this mix of parts here did help us, so I'm going to swap that out. Keep it over here with this one. Okay, so now I'll figure out what we're going to do to fix it. First we can just pull the valve out and compare it to the other intake valve and see if it's cut different up here in the height. And their margin looks pretty close. It might be a few thou more, but not much. It's within 5 thousandths. So that looks pretty close. Line the keeper grooves up, and they seem to be really, really close too. So I'm not sure what the problem is. Well, we know there's a problem. Everything seems to measure good independently, but when you put the whole assembly together, you have a problem. So I got a couple options. Something's got to get cut. The problem is whatever I cut now will be modified. Will not be interchangeable with any of the other parts. So that's a disadvantage of modifying one piece. I could take the valve and just grind 10 thou off of it, which could do the trick, but that makes the valve weaker when you do that. So I'm not necessarily wanting to do that. Double checking my fitment here. Right now we gained another 4 thou just doing that. So we keep gaining on this thing every time I reassemble. So that makes me not look very good. So something's causing our error here. So we're back being about 34 thou. So we're about 10 thou off from our number right now. I'll try a pair of keepers from the other head. See if that has any effect on us here. So these are genuine Harley keepers, so might be something, kind of a burr on one of them or something. It looks like we're repeating pretty close. I'll repeat it within 1 thou, so we're at 33, so that's not the problem, obviously. So let's try a top collar change. So if you can mix and match parts and get your stuff to come in where you want it, then it's worth doing that. It's always best not to make a permanent cut if you can avoid it. That helped us slightly. Okay, now we're up to 37.5. There's 38 when you tighten it up. So now I think we're getting pretty close to what we can live with. So mix and matching parts, we gained over 10 thousandths. So we needed about 15 or 20, so we got over half what we needed just by doing that. So we're up to 40 now. I can live with that number, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and keep all these parts together as a unit. Put these other parts with the other head over there. So I'm going to go ahead and double check all these other parts and make sure all the other valves, I didn't hurt one. So I'll go ahead and check all these, make sure I'm all close to that 40 to 45 number I'm after, and see if that works. Now that's on this tool. In the real world it's 1/800 to 1/825. There's a 25 thou variance in there, but the problem was this one here was coming in under 800. So like 790, so we should be right about 800 now. I'll double check that install light too, make sure it is at 800 now or 805. So, but anyway, that's where we're at. Just a lot of time consuming checking the parts. So I'll do that off camera. Okay, we're doing our last valve here. This is the rear valve, rear exhaust valve. Let's see what this one comes in at. This is our tallest one. This one comes in at 44 on the dial. The two intakes were the 2 thou apart. The other exhaust valve is at 42, I think. So this one here is at 44. So it looks like we got everything within, easily within 7 thousandths. So that's pretty close for installed height. So the mix and match of parts is now determined. These all separated out. Keep them all together. So now basically we're ready to assemble these things up. Get ready to go together. So I'll go ahead and get all this stuff lined up and get ready to do the assembly.